The lightsaber is the most recognizable item in the Star Wars universe, used by Jedi, Sith, and Force users alike. It requires an immense skill to wield one, and it is considered a marvel of design and engineering within the world of the Force. However, Force adepts are not just going to grab a lightsaber and head into combat without knowing any fighting style. This is why they train for many years in many lightsaber combat styles. This is why I'm going to show you all the combat styles that exist within the Star Wars universe, all from Form 1 through 7. Like I mentioned, there are 7 lightsaber combat forms named from Form 1 through 7, which are inherited from ancient fighting forms championed by the Jedi. While all the other forms of lightsaber combat draw upon the same basic moves and principles, each has their own distinct advantages and weaknesses. They change not only in the use of the lightsaber, but also the mentality, posture, and even the footwork, depending on the form of combat. The 7 forms of lightsaber combat, often referred to just as forms, are Shicho, Makashi, Soresu, Ataru, Shien or Gemso, Niman, and Jujo or Vapad. Form 1, Shicho, is the oldest and most widely used form. It is focused heavily on defense and counter-attacking, aiming to keep the practitioner safe from harm. Form 1 was originally created by the Jedi to teach basic lightsaber moves. There are few Jedi Masters who still use this, with the most prominent one being Kit Fisto. Form 2, Makashi, is the second oldest form, and it is highly specialized on one-on-one duels. It focuses on direct engagement and precision strikes using precision, speed, and finesse. Form 2 is the most elegant form and the most efficient against lightsaber wielders. Its disadvantages are its lack of kinetic power and limited use against blasters. The most prominent user was Count Dooku, who easily overwhelmed both Anakin and Obi-Wan during the Battle of Geonosis. Form 3, Soresu, the ultimate lightsaber form for defense. Form 3 is a defensive fighting style that emphasizes mobility. Its defense uses angular, fast motions to deflect blaster fire. As you can imagine, the most prominent user of this form is Obi-Wan, who excelled in his defensive skills. He was a Form 4 practitioner at first, but after his battle with Darth Maul and failing to save his master from death, he changed to Form 3 in order to assure defense and protect whoever is next to him. As we move on to the next forms, Form 4 through 7 are more aggressive by nature. Form 4, Ataru, is incredibly suited to speed and agility, including extensive acrobatics and aerial movements. It is focused on offense, making it a suitable counter to Soresu or Form 3. It involves powerful, lightning-fast movements and spins to surpass an opponent's defenses. Yoda was an exceptional user at this skill, as his small height and acrobatic jumps would allow him to overwhelm a defensive form. I'm just gonna put a pause over there. Just imagine max defense, Form 3, versus max offense, which is Form 4. So the question is, who would win? Yoda or Obi-Wan? Let me know in the comments. Let's keep on going. Form 5 utilizes a combination of both offense and defense, so it is suitable for 2 or more opponents and involves powerful blocking and immediate counter movements. Anakin Skywalker was a Form 5 user. However, when he turned into Darth Vader, this form fit him perfectly, as his powerful strikes with his robotic arms meant that anyone defending would have a hard time. Form 6, Niman, relies on balance between offense and defense, and it is the most balanced of all the forms. It is also seen as a compromise between the aggressive and defensive forms. This style is based on balance and relies heavily on stronger counterattacks. The form balances the various qualities and approaches of Forms 1 through 5. It avoids their weaknesses but also fails to achieve their full strengths. It incorporates force pushes and other uses of the force during battle. We see how Darth Maul specialized in this form and used various force pushes during his fight against Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon. Lastly, the most powerful lightsaber combat form is Form 7, also known as Yujo or Vapad, which draws upon the negative emotions such as rage and anger to overpower foes. This lightsaber form is cautioned against by the Jedi and favored among the Sith. It is the most aggressive and makes its wielders channel the dark side of the Force. The form uses powerful strikes aimed at disrupting the enemy guard, but also dodges in order to stay in control. In conclusion, the history and dynamics of lightsaber combat has played a major part in making Star Wars the immense popular franchise it is today. Each form of lightsaber combat offers a distinct set of advantages and disadvantages, and the success of the Jedi and Sith forces alike greatly depends upon the mastery and use of such forms. And with this, we wrap up this episode about lightsaber combat styles. Let me tell you something, folks. This guy over here, he used many techniques, not only a single one. And remember something, he was not a Force user. So his techniques depended solely on skill and not Force using. So maybe I'll make a video about him in the future. Again, thank you so much for watching Content Wars. If you're not subscribed, go ahead, folks. You're not going to regret it. I'll see you in the next episode.